안녕하세요, 여러분. Hello, everyone. In this video, we're gonna talk about telephone. Telephone in Korean is 전화기. 전화기. 전화기 came from Chinese characters. 전, electricity. 화, conversation or talking. 기, machine. 전화기. If you say it quickly, it sounds like 전화기, 전화기. Did you know the first telephone was invented in 1875? It's been only 146 years. Interesting, right? I also looked it up to see when the first handheld cell phone was commercialized. It was in 1979. It's been only 42 years in the market. Can you imagine holding the 4.4-pound cell phone? Speaking of cell phone, let's see how it's called in Korean. First, what's this? Hand, right? Hand, hand. After D, we added vowel because in Korean language, they need at least one consonant and one vowel to make a word block. That's why we call hand as hand. How about this? This is phone, right? Koreans do not have F sound. They used to have F, but somehow they lost the sound and the letter a while ago. So phone is spelled as 폰, 핸드폰, 핸드폰. That's how Koreans call a handheld cellular phone in Korean. 핸드폰. I don't know if you've watched the K-drama called Crash Landing. It shows a lot of North Korean languages and culture in the drama. If you see that, you can tell the North Koreans call cell phone as 손전화기. 손, hand, 전화기, phone. 손전화기. Because they have been isolated. I think they kept more Korean language there. Also, Koreans like to call cell phone as 스마트폰, smartphone, 스마트폰. 전화기, 전화기, 기 means machine, right? So let's remove 기, 전화, 전화 plus 하다. 하다 makes action verb 전화하다, 전화하다 to make a phone call. To make a phone call to someone, most likely people say to call someone. I think that's more popular way of saying these days, to call someone. But in Korean, we say someone에게 or 한테 전화하다. We need little extra something, those particles after someone. That's what this video is all about. It serves like to. Someone에게. 에게 is a little bit more formal or written. You can also use it in while you're talking, no problem, but a slightly more written form sort of feeling. Comparing to 한테. 한테 is much more colloquial. So in conversation, you use 한테 most of the time. 누구, someone한테 전화하다. That's how we use to call someone in Korean? Let's practice. I will call Susie. 내가 수지한테 전화할게. 내가 가 particle is used when you volunteer to do something. I will call Susie. 내가 수지한테 전화할게. 리을게 ending is to let the other person know that you will do certain action. So when you use 리을게 ending, the subject should be I only. And I also added the second sentence here. 나는 수지한테 전화할게. Everything else is same except the subject. 나는, right? A lot of Korean learners get confused in the very beginning between 내가 and 나는. That's why I added this sentence here. If you say 나는 수지한테 전화할게, that means I will call Susie. Why don't you call somebody else? That sort of feeling. I will call Susie. How about you call someone else? That sort of feeling. Okay? 내가 수지한테 전화할게 simply mean I will call Susie. You are volunteering to call Susie. Okay, the next sentence. Whom did you call? 누구한테 전화했어? 누구한테 전화했어? If you don't learn this 한테 expression and practice enough time, you tend to say 누구를 전화했어. And Koreans do not say like that. Whom did you call? 누구한테 전화했어? 누구한테 전화했어? Call me. How would you say in Korean? 나한테 전화해. 나한테 전화해. 나한테 전화해. 나한테 전화해줘. 나한테 전화해줘. 저 came from 주다 verb to give. This is a very important point of Korean language. When you ask someone to do something for you, you add 주다 verb after the main verb in Korean. 나한테 전화해줘. Call me, will you? 나한테 전화 좀 해줘. 나한테 전화 좀 해줘. Will you please call me? 나한테 전화 좀 해줘. We talked about 좀 a few times already. 좀 is making the request much more softer, and you're lowering your position and you're politely urging when you request something. This is a good example. 물 좀 줘, 물 좀 줘, rather than give me water, like give me some water, that sort of feeling. 물 좀 줘. 줘 is casual ending. 줘요, by adding 요, a little bit polite, common honorific. 주세요, 주세요, even more polite. You can use this to someone older than you. 주세요. 새, uh, 새 came from 시어. Anyway, 새 is an honorific expression. Don't worry. In, day out conversation, Koreans say 전화해, call me, 전화해. That's short enough, right? Okay, some more sentences. 왜 나한테 전화 안 했어? 왜 나한테 전화 안 했어? Why you didn't call me? 밤 is night time. 밤에 나한테 전화하지 마. 밤에 나한테 전화하지 마. At nighttime, do not call me. If you have to say this to someone older than you, you would say, 밤에 나한테 전화하지 마세요. 세요, right? Okay, the next sentence. 10시에 아빠한테 전화해. At 10 o'clock, 아빠한테 전화해. You know, in Korean, if Appa is telling his Appa is dad, Ap- if Appa is telling his child to call himself, he can refer himself as Appa. 아빠한테 전화해, uh, or 나한테 전화해. He can say either way. But it's interesting point that 아빠 calls himself 아빠, 엄마 calls herself 엄마 to their children. I think it's different from English. 10시에 아빠한테 전화해. At 10 o'clock, call me, then I'll come pick you up. Something like that. So before I end this video, I will give you a homework. 지금 누구한테 전화하고 싶어요? What, what does that mean? 지금 누구한테 전화하고 싶어요? 지금 누구한테 전화하고 싶어요?